All right. Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something super relatable for any modern digital creator. We're unpacking a source text that maps out a truly ambitious project, a cinematic YouTube documentary about the 1857 Indian Revolt. Specifically, we're looking at a fascinating interaction with an AI tool designed to bring this massive vision to life. Let's be real, if you've ever tried to build something grand and just absolutely smacked right into an unexpected brick wall, you're gonna love this one. We're going to see how a simple prompt to generate a historical documentary completely flips into this amazing masterclass on creative problem solving and workflow adaptation. Let's just jump right in.
Okay, so just listen to the pure confidence in this quote right from our source. I'll help you create a cinematic historical documentary video about the 1857 Indian Revolt. I mean, as a creator, seeing that is literally music to your ears, right? It sets up this incredibly grand vision right out of the gate. We are definitely not talking about some basic, boring slideshow here. The text makes it clear this is a complex project needing serious video generation muscle. It's just so exciting to kick off something of this massive scale, relying on these powerful tools to take all this complex history and weave it into a sweeping, cinematic narrative. The ambition is off the charts, and honestly, the AI seems totally ready to crush it.
So naturally, the anticipation is just building and building as the system starts loading up the right tools. The source notes the goal is to incorporate really dramatic elements and spotlight the key historical figures of the 1857 revolt. You can practically hear the digital gears turning in the background. As a creator watching this unfold, you're already picturing the final product, right? The sweeping landscapes, those super intense historical moments, the perfect cinematic lighting. It feels like everything is perfectly lined up for a massive automated creative win.
And then, boom, we hit the dreaded paywall. Reality totally bites. Right when we're mentally rehearsing our Oscar acceptance speech, we get hit with, I see, that video generation requires a subscription upgrade. Ouch. The whole automated video magic trick just comes to a screeching halt. But, actually, scratch that. This isn't the end of our explainer. This is exactly where things get genuinely fascinating. Because the system doesn't just give up and shut down, it immediately pivots. Our whole journey flips right here, from just passively generating history to doing some seriously creative, high-level problem solving.
Navigating the roadblock. Let's look at 4 alternative approaches. Alternative number 1, the detailed video production guide.
Instead of just handing you an automated video, the system offers a massive, and I mean massive, shift in strategy. It offers to build out this incredibly comprehensive document. We're talking a complete shot-by-shot breakdown for every single scene. Just imagine having the entire visual pacing mapped out for you before you even open an editor. Then it adds these deeply detailed visual descriptions for each historical figure, making sure your recreation of the revolt is visually striking and accurate. Add in a fully timed narration script, which, if you've ever edited video, you know is an absolute lifesaver, plus specific music and sound effect cues to really nail that cinematic vibe. And to top it off, historical reference notes to keep the whole thing grounded. Honestly, even without the actual video file, having this kind of blueprint is an absolute goldmine for any creator's workflow.
Moving on to alternative 2, finding relevant skills.
Now this is where the system takes a really resourceful angle. It basically offers to go out and search for specific video creation skills that might unlock alternative workflows for you. I absolutely love this approach because it's essentially saying, hey, if we can't take the highway, let's figure out how to build our own road. It completely empowers you to discover clever workarounds. Maybe you integrate different software or pick up a new compositing technique, rather than just being totally dependent on a single automated tool that happens to be stuck behind a paywall. It literally turns a frustrating limitation into a fantastic learning opportunity.
Which brings us to alternative 3, the storyboard document.
So the crucial point here is visual organization. A storyboard document is specifically designed to be this incredibly detailed planning tool that you can take right into your external video editing software. This beautifully bridges the gap between the AI's crazy good planning capabilities and your own preferred editor, whether that's Premiere, Final Cut, Resolve, whatever you use. It basically takes all that theoretical planning we just talked about in the first alternative and formats it visually. That makes it super easy to either hand off to another editor or just use it as a crystal clear guide to build out your own timeline. It's a real game changer for keeping things organized.
And finally, alternative 4, generating cinematic images instead.
Now, what's really interesting here is this highly visual compromise. If we can't generate fully moving video, the system suggests swapping that out for incredibly high-quality individual cinematic images. And the very first moment it suggests? Rani Lakshmibai in the heat of battle. I mean, just imagine compiling that. Even without full motion, having a striking, high-res still image of her right in the middle of the chaos of 1857 is incredibly powerful. As a creator, you know the tricks. You throw a slow pan or a subtle zoom on that image, good old Ken Burns effect, right? Layer under some intense battle sound effects and that killer narration from your production guide, and wow, you completely maintain all that visual drama, just using a different set of tools.
Let's see how this builds, because the very next suggested image captures a totally different emotional beat: Mangal Pandey's defiance. So instead of the massive, chaotic scale of a battlefield, now you have this deeply personal, intense, singular moment of historical defiance, all captured perfectly in one powerful still frame. Compiling these distinctly different moods, going from that massive scale battle right into this sharp, focused defiance, it just goes to show how you can stitch together a deeply engaging, emotional narrative using just a series of well-crafted, highly specific still images.
And to round out this visual sequence, the source suggests bringing in an image of Bahadur Shah Zafar as leader. When you string these specific generated images together, you've got Rani Lakshmibai's fierce battle, Mangal Pandey's bold defiance, and Bahadur Shah Zafar's commanding leadership. You can so effectively and visually tell the really complex story of the 1857 revolt. Honestly, it's just a fantastic workaround. It proves without a doubt that you absolutely do not need an expensive, premium video generation subscription to craft a highly cinematic and engaging historical documentary for your audience.
So, let's pull this all together, building your custom workflow.
The source leaves us with one final and honestly pretty fantastic offer. You actually don't have to choose just one of these paths. The system can create a completely custom combination of all these resources, mixing the production guides, the storyboards, the images, tailored specifically to what you need. Which brings us to the ultimate question laid out here. Which approach would be the most helpful for your project? When you inevitably hit your own creative roadblock, how are you going to pivot? Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. I really hope this deep dive into creative problem solving leaves you fired up and ready to completely bypass whatever paywall or roadblock you hit next.